Good morning, boys and girls. This is Miss Pattie at Samuel's Public Library here to do a story time. It's a little rainy and cloudy, so maybe it's a good time to have a story time. And today's theme is the classics, so some old favorites. And you know, my friend Curious George is an old favorite, isn't he? Say hi to our friends. Yeah. So Curious George is going to sit and listen. Oh, have a seat here. Yeah. Go. Our first story was originally written a long time ago. In fact, I heard this story when I was a little girl. So perhaps you've read it too. And sometimes some of the favorites are fun to read again and again. So this is called The Little Engine That Could by Watty Piper. The little engine that could. There's the little blue engine. It's a new book, so it's a little crinkly. See those pictures? Little engine. Chug, chug, chug. Puff, puff, puff. Ding dong, ding dong. The little train rumbled over the tracks. She was a happy little train, for she had such a jolly load to carry. Her cars were filled full of good things for boys and girls. You see that? That looks like fun, doesn't it? Good things for boys and girls. Oh my, there were toy animals, giraffes with long necks, teddy bears with almost no necks at all, and even a baby elephant. Then there were dolls, dolls with blue eyes and yellow curls, dolls with brown eyes and brown bobbed braids, and the funniest little toy clown you ever saw. He is kind of funny. And there were cars full of toy engines, airplanes, tops, jackknives, picture puzzles, books, and every kind of thing boys or girls could want. Do you see toys here that you would like? Maybe you have a toy like this at home. Yeah. But that was not all. Some of the cars were filled with all sorts of good things for boys and girls to eat. Ooh, yummy. Big golden oranges, red cheeked apples, bottles of creamy milk for their breakfast, fresh spinach for their dinners, peppermint drops and lollipops for after meal treats. The little train was carrying all these wonderful things to the good little boys and girls on the other side of the mountain. She puffed along merrily. Wow, do you see some things here that you would like? Oh, Miss Pattie thinks that ice cream cone looks especially yummy. Then all of a sudden she stopped with a jerk. She simply could not go another inch. She tried and she tried, but her wheels would not turn. Oh dear, what were all those good little boys and girls on the other side of the mountain going to do without the wonderful toys to play with and the good food to eat? Oh dear. Here comes a shiny new engine, said the funny little clown who jumped out of the train. Let us ask him to help us. So all the dolls and toys cried out together, "Please, shiny new engine, won't you please pull our train over the mountain? Our engine has broken down, and the boys and girls on the other side won't have any toys to play with or good food to eat unless you help us." But the shiny new engine snorted. "I pull you? I'm a passenger engine. I have just carried a fine big train over the mountain with more cars than you could ever dream of. My train had sleeping cars with comfortable berths, a dining car where waiters bring whatever hungry people want to eat, and parlor cars in which people sit in soft armchairs and look out of big plate glass windows. I pull the likes of you? Indeed not." Oh dear. It's not very kind, do you think? And off he steamed to the roundhouse where engines live when they are not busy. How sad the little train and all the dolls and toys felt. Then the little clown called out, "The passenger engine is not the only one in the world. Here's another engine coming, a great big strong one. Let us ask him to help us." The little toy clown waved his flag and the big strong engine came to a stop. "Please, oh please, big engine," cried all the dolls and toys together, "won't you please pull our train over the mountain? Our engine is broken down, and the good little boys and girls on the other side won't have any toys to play with or good food to eat unless you help us." But the big strong engine bellowed, "I am a big freight train engine. I have just pulled a big train load with big machines over the mountain. These machines print books and newspapers for grown-ups to read. I am a very important engine indeed. I won't pull the likes of you." And the freight engine puffed off indignantly to the roundhouse. The little train and all the dolls and toys were very sad. "Cheer up," cried the little toy clown. "The freight engine is not the only one in the world. Here comes another. He looks very old and tired, but our train is so little, perhaps he can help us." See, here it comes, way down there. So the little toy clown waved his flag and the dingy, rusty old engine stopped. "Please, kind engine," cried all the dolls and toys together, "won't you please pull our train over the mountain? Our engine has broken down, and the boys and girls on the other side won't have any toys to play with or good food to eat unless you help us." What do you think he's going to say? But the rusty old engine sighed. "I am so tired. I must rest my weary wheels. I cannot pull even so little a train as yours over the mountain. I cannot. I cannot. I cannot." And off he rumbled to the roundhouse, chugging I cannot, I cannot, I cannot. And there he went. Then indeed the little train was very, very sad. And the dolls and the toys were ready to cry. But the little clown called out, "Here's another engine coming. A little blue engine, a very little one. Maybe she will help us." Do you see the little blue engine? Here she comes. The very little engine came chugging merrily along when she saw the toy clown's flag. She stopped quickly. "What is the matter, my friends?" she asked kindly. "Oh, little blue engine," cried the dolls and toys, "will you pull us over the mountain? Our engine has broken down, and the good boys and girls on the other side won't have any toys to play with or good food to eat unless you help us. Please, please help us, little blue engine." What do you think little blue engine's gonna say? "I'm not very big." Do you see? There's little blue engine. "I'm not very big," said little blue engine. "They use me only for switching trains in the yard. I've never been over the mountain." "But we must get over the mountain before the children awake," said all the dolls and the toys. The very little engine looked up and saw the tears in the doll's eyes, and she thought of the good little boys and girls on the other side of the mountain who would not have any toys or good food unless she helped. Then she said, "I think I can, I think I can, I think I can." And she hitched herself to the little train. She tugged and pulled and pulled and tugged, and slowly, slowly, they started off. The toy clown jumped aboard, and all of the dolls and the toy animals began to smile and cheer. Yay! They were moving. Puff, puff, chug, chug went the little blue engine. "I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can." Can you say that? I think I can. Will help the blue engine. I think I can. Up, 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 faster and faster and faster and faster the little engine climbed. Wow. Until at last they reached the top of the mountain. Hooray! Down in the valley lay the city. "Hooray, hooray," cried the funny little clown and all the dolls and toys. They looked pretty happy. "The good little boys and girls in the city will be happy because you helped us, kind little blue engine." And the little blue engine smiled and seemed to say, as she puffed steadily down the mountain, "I thought I could, I thought I could, I thought I could, I thought I could, I thought I could." Can you say that? I thought I could? thought I could. Yay! The end. That was kind of a long story, but it's a very famous story, and the old copies were very little, and now this has been redone in a bigger picture book so you could see the pictures well. Thank you for listening. Yay. Yeah, the little blue engine gives us courage to try hard things, do hard things. Yeah. Okay. All right, before I read my second story, I wanted to show you a little craft that maybe you can do at home. So if you have any paper bags, springtime is a time when sometimes there is a little breeze, a little wind, and maybe you can decorate a lunch bag with stickers and dots, and if you have streamers, or you can just cut paper or even toilet paper and just stick it on the bag, and when you go running, your little paper bag kite can follow you around. So Miss Pattie made this one, and I made another one from a sack with different colors, and just poked a little string through the top so you could chase around and see a little paper bag kite. Very easy, and stickers and all kinds of things you can color, put your name on it so it's your special kite. All right, my second story today, maybe you've heard of, and I'll dedicate it. There's a little girl that I know whose name is Madeline, and I know she knows this story, and maybe she'll be listening. And this is for you, little Madeline. So, by Ludwig Bemelins, and that is also a very old classic. It's been popular for a long time. Here we go. Madeline. So he did the stories and the pictures. In an old house in Paris that was covered with vines, lived 12 little girls in 2 straight lines. In 2 straight lines, they broke their bread. Are they having lunch or breakfast? And brushed their teeth and went to bed. I guess they were eating supper, huh? They smiled at the good. I guess they like that horse, huh? And frowned at the bad. Ooh, is that a naughty robber? And the policeman has to catch him, huh? And sometimes they were very, very sad. They left the house at 9:30 in 2 straight lines. In rain or shine. They have all their little umbrellas. Do you have an umbrella when it rains to go out in? Or maybe you have a rain slicker with a hoodie hat. Yeah. The smallest one was Madeline. She was not afraid of mice. Look at that. She's kind of brave. She loved winter, snow, and ice. To the tiger in the zoo, Madeline just said, "Pooh pooh." And suddenly, and nobody knew so well how to frighten Miss Clavell. In the middle of one night, Miss Clavell turned on her light and said, "Something is not right." Little Madeline sat in bed, cried and cried, but her eyes were red. Poor thing, do you see her crying? And soon after Dr. Cone came, he rushed out to the phone. And he dialed DAN 10-6. "Nurse," he said, "it's an appendix." Everybody had to cry. Not a single eye was dry. Madeline was in his arm, in a blanket, safe and warm. An appendix is something in your body that when it gets sick, it kind of hurts. And sometimes they have to fix it at the hospital. In a car with a red light, they drove out into the night. It's a special car. Do you know what that's called with a light? It's an ambulance. Madeline woke up 2 hours later in a room with flowers. Madeline soon ate and drank. On her bed there was a crank. And a crack on the ceiling had the habit of sometimes looking like a rabbit. Do you see that? Is that kind of funny? Do you look at things on the ceiling or the wall and make shapes? Outside were birds, trees, and sky, and so 10 days passed quickly by. One nice morning, Miss Clavell said, "Isn't this a fine day to visit Madeline?" So there they go, and they're off. Visitors from 2 to 4 read a sign outside her door. Tiptoeing with a solemn face, with some flowers and a vase. See, all her little friends have come to visit her. In they walked and said, "Ah," when they saw the toys and candy and the dollhouse from Papa. But the biggest surprise by far, on her stomach was a scar. So she showed them where her boo-boo was. "Goodbye," they said, "we'll come again." And the little girls left in the rain. They went home and broke their bread, brushed their teeth, and went to bed. In the middle of the night, Miss Clavell turned on the light and said, "Something is not right." And afraid of a disaster, Miss Clavell ran fast and faster. And she said, "Please, children, do tell me what is troubling you." And all the little girls cried, "Boo-hoo. We want to have our appendix out too. Good night, little girls. Thank the Lord you are well, and now go to sleep, said Miss Clavell. And she turned out the light and closed the door. And that's all. There is no more. It's a wonderful story. Why do you think the little girls wanted to have their appendix out and go to the hospital? Do you think that they thought Madeline was having a good time once the surgery was over? Maybe. And if you read this book, we have several copies. If you check it out and read it, you will see some very famous places in Paris. This is called the Eiffel Tower. And there are other pictures in the book of very special places. Maybe someday you'll go to Paris and you'll see them for yourself. There we go. Well, thank you for listening. And as always, I miss you. And until another story, we'll be talking to you, and have a wonderful week.